Hello, good morning, and welcome to the podcast on the EPYG Legacy Initiative program. My name is Monteiro. I'm project manager for this project, and it's a great pleasure to be here with two of my good friends, and I would like to introduce them.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Hi, everyone. So this is Serkan Baltaci from MPC Turkey. I'm the General Secretary of our MPC, as well as I was the General Coordinator of European Para Youth Games. It's the first ever multi-sports para events in Turkey, proud to say. And it's great to be here.
Thank you, Serkan.
Yes,
I'm Ivo Quendera. I'm the project director of the EPYG Legacy Initiative, and it's a pleasure also to be here and to attend this with these two great friends.
Okay, so Serkan, let's start talking a little bit about that. Tell me what was the experience like of organizing such a big event and the first ever Paralympic event happening in Turkey.
Yeah, so like multi-sports every time is fantastic, all over the world. So Olympic or Paralympic, but so we have some ambitions actually as our MPC, and like after the starting with our MPC until 2028 and 2032, and of course we are one of the candidate for the 2036 Olympic and Paralympic in Istanbul. So that's why it was really important to hosting this great para event. So in Rotterdam, actually, it was European Para Championships. Yeah, it started this year. And, it was amazing because it's in our history in Turkey, it's the first ever multi-sports para event in our history. And, like Istanbul is our brand city. So it was really, the exciting, and so it was great honor to be, the serve for our para athletes in our country and also in our, the region. Actually, it was, the great honor. So yeah, it takes amazing. Actually, it was, the only 1 year so to preparation, but Istanbul. So at the end of the day, so it wasn't one sport event, but at the same time it was a still as we are like the sea is one of legacy. We still the continue to serve our community, so that's why it's a great experience.
No, it was awesome. And as a participant in those games, it was a real pleasure, and everything was so well organized, so perfect. And it was good to see so many athletes from so many different places, so many different countries.
Yeah, if I'm not wrong, yeah, so it is the the highest number in the para youth games, the history. Yeah, it is more than like 1,200. The people was here, yeah, from the 46 nations. As I mentioned, yeah, it was a like sports event, and more than 50 the athletes first time ever in our team in Turkey wear their jersey first time with the classification. And of course it's same for the the other countries. It's really great, man.
It's really great. And Ivo, tell me, what was the idea behind having a legacy program for such an event, and what were the goals of doing this?
Well, we do have the notion that a big event like a para game or a para championship, like Serkan mentioned, has a particular and specific awareness for the local population, but also for the para community. But what we wanted to develop inside the para youth games was to develop something for future generations. And for this, we came up with an idea of a legacy, bringing a legacy for the new and the proper generations that were coming. And the idea was not to stop all of the development and engagement that we had during the games, but also to give them opportunity and tools to lifelong and have a legacy for the future and the next years for those athletes that first had their first appearance and the first opportunity to have experience in a para participation.
Nice. And Serkan, impact within the community. How did it impact Istanbul? How did it impact Turkey? How did it impact the families of the athletes? What was the feel? How did you feel about that?
So actually, the numbers never say lies. We all know this phrase. So, and actually the first statistics was before and after Paris. Okay. So before Paris, Istanbul Metropolitan Municipality Sports Department says weekly we received around 15 calls from the disabled athletes or their families, how we can start sports for para sports. And after Paris, the proudly says it's our the most successful, the Paralympic Games. And after Paris, because of this increasing, the awareness, so the same sports department says we start to receive weekly more than 60 phone calls from disabled athletes and from their family. It was the first statistic. And another statistic says, and we had, the 1 year to preparation, but I think we together with European Paralympic Committee, we managed really good the communication process actually. So yeah, it started actually during the youth games to the impact, because you remember Glee, our mascot, and Glee was everywhere. It was part of the legacy program, but and everywhere at the Bosporus, at the summer, the market, the important square, in Istanbul, the people start to see what is para sports and what's going on in Istanbul, and what happens after the games. So we received many emails directly to our Paralympic Committee. We saw many like advertisements, we see many the videos on television. So we also would like to start, the para sports. Statistics and numbers never says lies. So that's why we believe that its impact for our community. Okay, for two sides. One for disabled people, another for the not disabled, but to only creating an awareness for the young generation. It was great impact. We still continue the receiving their emails to meet them with the parasport. So that was amazing.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's great idea. That's great news. Yeah. So what we want is exactly what you're saying, is to have more awareness and to have more people participating in parasports as well, and people from everywhere, no matter their ability, no matter their disability, can participate in sports. Yeah. And that's amazing. Ivo, how did the project manage to implement local activities and local, Serkan was saying, local development of such activities?
Well, the Discovery Program was a start point for all the legacy initiative. And like Serkan already explained it was the opportunity for the local citizens, the Turkish here during their games, to have opportunity to be aware and to understand that parasport do exist, and opportunities for kids with disability, and not only kids, they do exist. And sport itself can be a tool for social inclusion, a tool for better behaviors on health styles, and also a tool for better engagement on social awareness. So Discovery itself was the starting point for this, was the opportunity for the local kids, the local families to understand that kids with disability can have the same opportunities than the others. Of course, this cannot stop here. That's why the core pillars of the Legacy Initiative have a development stage scale that comes from the discovery, then to the school program, and then to the policy and development hubs, and last but not least, the paradigital platform. And that will give opportunity for learning and for networking, sharing of knowledge, perspectives, and also opportunities for other kinds of persons involved in this development to have more knowledge, to have more capacity and expertise to support all of this work.
How do you two feel about the future of parasports? How do you see it coming from this experimentation, from this knowledge and awareness base to a wider movement and to a wider...
It's good questions. We have two things to do in general. Okay, one, sports performance in all the the NPCs. The other is social impact. Okay, as an part of our social responsibility, of course. And so we will meet with you guys, as a part of the project, at least 100 schools, but we will meet 200 teachers from 200 schools in Turkey. And In Turkey, as a different thing is, one teacher started, as an educator. In some years, maybe in 3 or 4 or 5 years, their working cities are changing. For example, today he or she is teaching in Istanbul. Maybe next year will be a north side or the west side of Turkey. Okay, so it means one teacher means thousands of students, and that's why actually this project is really important for us. As we discussed from the beginning, education of educators. Of course, that they know what they should do. But for the para sports, we have this learning system. We have these, like the toolkits with all the professor, included inside to prepare a great legacy. So it's really important, to reach 1,000 of thousands from the 7 to 14 years old kids. It is important because they are our next generation. So that's why everything starts first, of course, at the families, and then from schools, everything is starting. So like maybe we will reach 200 teachers, 200 schools, but it means maybe 1,000 or 10,000, the times, like the people, and they will be our, the next generation, and then it will be, the grow, maybe the millions. So that's why, at this social impact, we are really, the proud it is developing in our country. And of course, the performance side is about the federations, it's about the trainers. Okay, so we are not professional about the performance. We are only supporting sides as NPCs. But at the social impact sides, two sides, disabled person and the kids but not disabled, to create some awareness and support them. So it's going well. I'm sure that, maybe after 5 years, we say, okay, guys, statistically, we reach million kids because these 200, the teachers in yearly, they are educating, for example, 100, the teachers, the students, and then it means a million, the students we reach. So it's snowball effect. Yeah, exactly. It's briefly. Yeah. So yeah, it will be a great to impact for all our, the countries in our region.
Amazing, amazing. And Ivo, how do you feel about this as well? How do you feel that this project from Turkey can be this jumping start point to the rest of Europe? How can this have the effect of doing this in more countries, especially underdeveloped countries?
Okay, so the main focus for the legacy was coming out of a specific game, the para youth game. And this has an entire engagement from all the countries, from all the NPCs. And we do understand that, like in Turkey, the rest of the countries in Europe, they want to engage themselves specifically on school, specifically on grassroots, on the ages that Serkan talked about. So all the countries have the same difficulties on having access and giving opportunity for all kids to have access to sports, specifically those with disability. So what we are doing or trying to do here in Turkey is precisely trying to test a way to disseminate a message and a capacity content to those teachers having those skills to proper work with those kids and giving them opportunity to be more inclusive. So the main idea when we developed the specific school program under the connection with the legacy and the discovery was precisely giving the tools to those who are working with that top specific age from 7 to 16, for example. And we know that all the other countries want to do the same. So when we developed this school, the tool was developed with not just Turkey, but with 4 different countries, developing skills, capacity, and the guidebook itself, one of the toolkit, one of the items of the toolkit, has the same effect and the same objective for the entire European region, to give capacity, to give tools, to give opportunities, experience, sharing experience, but also options of networking between the school, the teachers and the educators, like Serkan was saying, because one teacher that comes to a particular school will bring knowledge to their colleagues, will bring tools to their colleagues, will disseminate the learning that you already have. So this is a good way that the schools itself in Turkey has, and I believe that other countries also have the same system. Even if they don't, having a specific tool like the guidebook inside the toolkit will support them to disseminate this proper engagement and development path.
And the other good news that, some of the NPCs, our friends already start to ask you about some inputs. Okay, could you please, share some information? Yeah, it is. I say, okay, of course we will share, and we will, share with all the toolkits, and of course, the books, toolkits. So it's amazing actually. They already, start even if the not schools, the system is same, but all the NPCs, in our region, they can make any collaboration with their the Ministry of Education or any school. Yeah.
That's really important, and I really want to appreciate having us and giving us the opportunity to develop such an amazing project with you.
Yeah, we thank you. The Istanbul is really so it will be as a look. Actually, yeah, geographically, yeah, it's an hub, but we're really proud to be a hub of this project. Of course, the EPC Legacy Initiative will continue.
From Turkey to the rest of Europe, you will lead.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much, my friend. Thank you.